Poaching in Utah, what does that look like as of late?
So I mean, it's always a problem. It's over the past 5 years, I would say we've kind of hovered around 1,000 to 1,200 illegally killed animals a year, which is too many, obviously. We want to get that number down. And that's where we spend our time. Coming here into the fall really quick. A lot of people out on the landscape doing some hunting. And that's where our officers focus their time is to make sure that those rules are being followed and people are doing things correctly.
When people hear poaching, at least for me, I always feel like maybe that word comes with maybe malicious intent or something like that. Is that always the case, or it can be mistakes or not understanding? Like, how do you juggle what was maybe one end of the spectrum versus the other when it comes to each case?
That's a really good question. Poaching in Utah is literally the definition is an unlawfully killed animal. And that could be a fish, it could be a bear, it could be a moose, anything that's not taken properly. Now, like you said, sometimes mistakes are made. People go out and shoot the wrong thing or in the wrong area or something like that. And their intent is they just went out and just made an error. If those circumstances like that, if what we would ask the public to do is if they are in a circumstance like that, they would reach out to us and let us know what they've done. Take some responsibility for that because that does quicken up the process and it shows that they did make an honest mistake. That is where people go out and intentionally kill an animal illegally, and those are the people that we want to pursue, and we want to make sure that justice is met. We want to make sure that they are held accountable for those crimes. And the way to do that is through an investigation, through gathering evidence, gathering information, talking to a bunch of people. Sometimes it does take a lot of time to get through them.
Something that stood out to me in the information that was shared with us was the amount of citations, about 850, it looks like during that time frame. Is that a high number? Is that a ballpark average? Where is that? Because that's an eye-catching number to somebody who just sees it black and white.
Sure. It's well, and when you look it up, how many people we've talked to in that same amount of time, 10,000 people and less than 1,000 citations. You got to put it into context a little bit because we do talk to a lot of people, and that number also includes all sorts of warnings. It's all encompassed in there. So I would say it's a fairly average number for us. It's and we do interact with all sorts of different circumstances from somebody driving too fast on a road they shouldn't be, and then somebody drinking a beer in a place they shouldn't be doing that as well, all while we're doing the same wildlife enforcement. So
How do these numbers decline even further? What do you ask the public to do? I know we touched on it briefly of maybe reporting it ahead of time, but
yeah.
how do you bring this down to a number that maybe doesn't seem as eye-catching, even though I think you're always going to have some at this point?
Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. One thing that we always want to sort of encourage is to know the rules before you go. There's guidebooks for every type of hunt. Every protected or regulated activity has a guidebook, and you can take that guidebook with you. You can put it on your phone and just read the rules for the area you're going to. So the public takes some responsibility for what they're going to get into, and then make sure of your shot, make sure what's going on. I mean, it is an activity where mistakes can happen. There's no doubt about it. And once a mistake does happen, like we talked about earlier, take responsibility for those, and give us a call and say, hey, I made a mistake, I'm owning this. And it 9 times out of 10 will be a much better circumstance for you than trying to hide it. So
How do things in Utah stack up compared to some of our neighboring states or other places that have similar hunts, similar climates, similar interests in wildlife? What have you experienced when maybe mingling with other folks that work in the same realm?
it's busy. The Western United States is busy. Hunting and fishing is a way of life in the Western United States. So every state around us, officers are busy. One thing that I would say, there's not an incredible amount of wildlife officers in the Western United States. Um, if we were totally full with our patrol force, we would have 47 patrol officers in the state of Utah. Obviously, they have supervisors and stuff like that, but 47 patrol officers for the state is just not that many. and surrounding states don't even have that many. So that's where we ask the public to, get involved and to, if you see something, say something about it, get in touch with us, be aware of what's going on out in your surroundings, stuff like that, because we need as much help as we can get out there.
Again, the term poaching can be kind of daunting for folks that read it in a headline or see it pop up on their screen. Is there anything else you'd like folks to know about what we've been seeing here as of late in Utah as it pertains to that?
One thing that I would really encourage the public out there is to, I just mentioned it. If you are out there and you think something's happened that's wrong, hunting related, or it has happened and it's wrong, contact us. And there's a few ways you can contact us. Truth be told, the best way to do it is download our DWR law enforcement app, and you can text us information, photographs, locations. You can remain anonymous through that. You can go to the App Store. It's UTDWR that's how you would search and find it. You can download that, and you would be able to get in direct contact with an officer in the location where you're at. Share information, like I said, GPS locations, photographs, stuff like that. And then, sometimes where you think something happened that is wrong, an officer can say, yeah, that's okay. Either the rules changed or there's a misunderstanding or something like that, and we can alleviate stress and things like that. But that is, I can't emphasize it enough, but we need as much help from the public as we can get. And that's a really good way to be in contact with us.